welcome to the second instalment of Flowers in the Window, the KAL with Jane Burns. Just to get you started, it's going to be useful again to have your block colour chart, your chart to tick off as you work each block, and the yarn colours listed here. So we'll grab some yarn and get cracking. So I'm using the 4mm hook. You use whichever one you've found works best for you, and I'm going to follow the section in the brackets. So the A, which is the mustard, take your yarn. We're going to do a magic loop like we did before. Hopefully you're feeling fairly confident with those. So I've got my magic loop. Just get my hand all set. Now for this first round, we are going to do 3 chain, which counts initially as a double crochet and 2 chain when we're doing the counting at the end. So that's my 3 chain. We then do a double crochet into the ring and then 2 chain, and I'm going to repeat that 7 times in total. So that was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And I'm just showing you the whole of this because it does look a little bit weird when you first started it, and I want you to know that it's how it should look. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I've got enough there. Did I work 7? Sorry, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I've got my 8 there. I'm going to loosely pull this together. You don't want it really tight at this point because you need to work into it. So I'm going to leave it quite loose and a bit floppy. Don't worry, you will tighten it up at the end. This is only so that it makes it easier to work into. Slip stitch through there. Scissors. I'm going to cut that off. Pull it through. And you've got your first slightly odd looking circle, but just leave it loose like that to start with. Okay, so we're now on round 2. I'm using colour B, which is cerise. So you rejoin into any 2 chain space, pull that through, and then you do a 1 chain. And your fingers will work properly. There we go. Right, now this is the repetitive bit, so you need to do 1 double crochet, 1 half treble, these are all UK terms by the way, just remind you, 2 full trebles, another half treble, and a double crochet. That's into 1 space. Now you need to do that each time, so I'll just repeat that once more for you. So that's 1 double crochet, 1 half treble, 2 full trebles, 1 half treble, and 1 double crochet. And you're going to repeat that all the way around until you've got 6 petals. Okay, so now we're going to work round 3. So you want something that looks a bit like this. Again, don't worry about that sloppy middle. We're going to tidy that up very shortly. So I am using yarn C, which is the plum, so it's the slightly darker one. And I'm going to be putting like a little emphasis line round here. So you join into the first double crochet of any of the petals from the previous round, like that. Then we're going to be working a slip stitch into the outer edge of each stitch in the petal. So you go in just through one hole there, pull it through, and then straight through the purple again. In, so you're just picking that edge stitch up, pull it through, and you keep working all the way around. So that's one into each one. When you get to where they join, we're going to do one round the treble at the front. So you start your treble as normal, wrap your yarn, you go round the yellow bar in this case, and then pull the yarn back through. Okay, so you've gone round the bar of that stitch, pull it through two and pull it through two. So you've worked a treble, but you've gone round that bar. Then you find your next loop on the edge and slip stitch again. Slip stitch into each one. Try and do it as cleanly as possible. Don't work too tightly or you'll pull it into a really funny shape. It's just a nice gentle slip stitch going all around the edge. Into each, and then I'm working my treble again round the front, so the right front, pull it through, and then I start the sequence again. Right, we're now on to round 4. There's a nice little explanation in this, just letting you know, really explaining that you are making a set of loops here that are creating the structure for the next round. So they are hidden at the back. So you've got your front, which is starting to look quite pretty, and then you need to go into some of the loops at the back. Around the last double crochet in the petal is recommended, and join the yarn through. Now at this point you want to chain 4. One little thing I quite like to do is use the tail for just one of the chains on the very first one, because you can just pull it a bit tighter if you need to. So that's number 1, 2, 3, 4. You then need to do a double crochet into the back of the last double crochet of the next petal. So sorry if this is a little bit difficult to see, but you want it to go in behind those stitches. It's a little bit tricky to do. Pull your yarn through, so you've got your 2 loops on, and then pull that through your 2. So you've done a double crochet, another chain of 4, and then repeat. So again, you're going into the back of the last double crochet in the round before and making a double crochet, 3, 4, and again, and you're going to go all the way around. This is around the reverse, around the back of the work that you've already done. Okay, we're going to join back in now at round 5. You continue using the same coloured yarn that you have created all your loops in. So these are at the back, but you do want to have the right side facing you. So for this one, we've got to slip stitch just like that into the first 4 chain space. Do a 1 chain, and that gets you started. Then we're going to do a double crochet, a half treble, 4 full trebles. Oops, start that one again. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 half treble, and then 1 double crochet. That all goes into 1 loop there. Then we work straight into the next 4 chain space. So that's 1 double, a half treble, 4 full trebles, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, a half treble, and another double crochet, and we're going to do that into each one so that eventually you'll have 8 flowers. Do make sure that it's coming out with the front side to the front here. And just pop those yellow ones back through. Okay, so we're getting on to round 6 now. I just want to point out that I've pulled tight my centrepiece now, so this is the sort of thing you're getting. Don't worry that it doesn't always lay flat. It's meant to be 3D. There needs to be quite a lot of fabric in there, so don't worry if something's looking a bit like this at the minute. That's quite normal, and it will all flatten out as we get further in. So we're going to do another highlighting row around here, so you need to join in again just to that edge loop with the yarn that you've chosen, and go all the way round, slip stitching, so that's one into each of the stitches that you worked on the row before, and we can pull that one a bit tighter as we go along. So it's just the same as the darker purple row, but just a few more stitches because you worked more stitches into the petal. So they've gone round. You're then going to do your right front treble. Okay, round. That's one, and then into the stitches below, and again just nice and gently all the way around the edges. Gone all the way around the edge of that next petal, and then treble. You can see now how that's starting to highlight your colours, and I'm just going to keep going till I've got to the other end. Okay, so we are now back with round 7, which is another one of the rounds that sets up the next row of petals. So I've gone into the back of a double crochet on the previous round, so this is the back again, and a loop going, pull that through, and again I'm going to do one. This is my preference, it wasn't particularly on the pattern, but I just like to do that. I think it works. So one chain with the tail, and this time we want 5 chains rather than 4. So there's one done, that's 2, 3, 4, 5 chains, and one double crochet where the 2 petals join, another 5 chains, and find the next one. Hopefully you can see this, it's a little bit tricky. Pull that through, make that a double, another 5 chains, and you keep going round all the way around the back until you've got a loop at the back of every petal that's already there. Okay, we're back now with round 8, and we're also using the same yarn again, so it's yarn C. You don't need to fasten off and rejoin it, just keep going. So we slip stitch into the chain of 5 and then do a single chain. Then we're actually now going to work the petals. This time we're doing 1 double crochet, 1 half treble, 2 full trebles, 2 of those, a double treble. Now this is where you wrap your yarn twice before going into the loop. So you've got 4 on your hook, through 2, through another 2, through another 2, and then we're back to 2 standard trebles. So that's 1, 2, and then we've got a half treble and a double crochet. and then we're going into the next loop. So a double crochet, 1/2 treble, 2 full trebles, a double treble, so round twice through, round and through 2, round and through 2, round and through 2, and then, I know we haven't done those before, and 2 trebles, 1/2 treble, and 1 double crochet, and I'm going to repeat that for all 8 of the petals. Okay, so we're back to doing the little emphasis row around the side now. So I'm going to join my yarn into that first loop, and then hand back up, and then we're going into the edge stitch of each one of the stitches on the previous row. So we're creating that line. Oops, I managed to loop myself in there. There we go. So a nice clean edge. Again, don't make it tight, otherwise it will pull it into a bit of a funny shape. It's almost like drawing a line around the edge. That's the last one, and then again it's a right front treble. This time you're going around the grey of the previous row, and that then pulls them and joins things together in a nice way. And then I'm going into the edge of the stitch on the row below, pulling that through, and I'm going to work my way around the edge of the next petal, and that's 1 slip stitch into each of the stitches worked on the previous row. So this is where you really want to be able to do it fairly neat but not tight. There's a definite difference between neat stitches and tight stitches, and again it's a treble and you're going round that bar of the grey on the previous row. Oops. There we go, and back into the next one. Okay, so we're now on round 10, which is another foundation row, so that's how your flower should be looking now. So we're going to turn it over. I like to go in the back about here, so you find the best place for you, but as long as it's between 2 petals, that's fine. And pull this through, and this time we are doing another chain of 5, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then again double crochet into the back of the previous round. Get a good firm hold. I would recommend you go through 2 loops. So that's there. Another set, 2, 3, 4, 5. Again, go to where the 2 of them join, into a couple of loops, pull it through and make that into your double, and then keep going round. Right, we're on round 11 now, and again you're working into the loops that you've just created, but this time we're doing it a bit differently because now we're going to start squaring off the back. We've made the flower and we're now making the backing so that they're in a square and we can sew them together. So you start off in the same way, so you slip stitch into the first of the chain 5s and do a single chain so that you've got something to slip stitch into at the end. So in the same chain 5 you do 6 double crochet, 1, 2, 3, 4, my 6 double crochet there, and then in the next 5 chain space we're going to do 3 treble, 2 chain and 3 treble, because we're going to start to create a corner. So I've got 1, 2, 3 trebles, 2 chains, and then another 3 trebles. Right, and then we're going to repeat that all the way around. So I'm going to do another 6 double crochet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I've got my 6 double crochet, and now I'm making another corner. So I've got 1, 2, 3 trebles, 2 chains and another 3 trebles. 1, 2, 3. And then the next one I'm going to do is another 6 double crochet into the next loop. Okay, so I've slip stitched back into that first chain that we did, and we're keeping with the same colour, so there's no joining of yarn or anything, and we're going to do a chain of 3, and that's going to count as a treble. So remember that that's one of these trebles. We're now going to work 1 treble into each double crochet. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I'm only doing 5 at that point because that chain of 3 this time counted as one of the trebles. Right, then we're going to do 1 treble into each of the 3 trebles on the previous row. So that is 1, 2, 3, and then we do 2 trebles, 2 chain and 2 trebles into the corner space. So that's 2, 2 chain, another 2 trebles, okay, and then we're going to work another 3 trebles into the 3 trebles on the previous row. So that is 1, 2, 3, and then we need to work a treble into 1 into each of the 6 double crochets. So this time I'm going to work full 6, not just the 5. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, then another 3 trebles on top of the 3 trebles that we've already got. 1, 2, 3, and then another corner which is 2 trebles, 2 chain, another 2 trebles, and I'm going to keep going all the way around. So we're now squaring it off. You can see how we're starting to get a square going there. I'm going to go all the way around till I meet back here. Okay, so we're all finished off for the 3D square. So that's the back, which I actually think looks really quite lovely too. The fronts obviously are great, and they are 3D. They're very padded. We use quite a bit of yarn on these, which gives the blanket a nice heavy quality to it. I do just want to say, if it's great to try these, and even if you're quite new to crochet, give it a go. You never know what you might achieve. But if you do find these quite hard work to make, or you really are struggling because you're quite new to it, you can swap these for just some of the basic 2D squares and still make a lovely blanket. So don't feel that because you can't make these, or you don't want to make all the ones that you need to, that you can't then complete the blanket. Just swap it for some of the other squares if you need to. But please give it a go. They're really lovely to make, and I think you'll be really proud of yourself when you've finished. So good luck, and I'll be back in a week or two.